Ladies and gentlemen, we are once again beset by the final week of a season. In this case, it's Proquest season, and we have Battle Hardened Richmond coming up this weekend. And today we're going to talk about a few of those decks that I expect to make some waves. Maybe some like undercurrent dark horse decks that I think could push their way up the old leaderboard this weekend in particular. And one of them I would personally pick up and play this weekend if I weren't already completely married to Kasai. So if we're taking a look at the Week 3 Proquest data, Kayo, Armed and Dangerous, sits at the top of the leaderboard, if you will, with 24 wins. We talked about this earlier this week. I think Kayo will continue to sit at the top of the leaderboard. I don't think he's going to be moving anywhere at any time soon, but I will say it's not because of the new cards yet. Hold your horses, give it some time. The new cards will come into play, but right now it's actually quite difficult to get your hands on the Armory decks and those cards that come in Armory decks. So Savage Sash may not see the table nearly as much as you would expect. I will say, though, that I think once these cards become a bit more readily available, that the deck of just the way Kayo is constructed and the way he sort of plays out is going to need to change. I don't think, and tell me if I'm wrong in a comment below, sound off down there, I don't think Savage Sash is an easy one-of-one swap for Fiendel's Spring Tunic. I don't necessarily think the deck functions the same way with that card, and I would posit to say that those two cards don't just immediately swap. I think you would actually need to change how the deck functions a little bit more to get maximum value out of Savage Sash. Otherwise, why are you playing it? It's basically just 2 resources, and I guess if you're expecting the game to end in 6 turns, then you get your 2 resources just like you would on Tunic, but it's like at will, at an OTK kind of a combo turn. Maybe then it argues like that's okay, but in a big mid-range meta, which we're in, I think you're probably trying to change the way the deck works to get maximum value out of Sash. Nevertheless, I don't think we're seeing it this weekend, but I do think Kayo continues to stay on top. Now, what do I think is going to make some strides this weekend with Kayo and, as you can see up there, Kasai on top? Well, I know it's crazy sounding, but look no further than Riptide. In my mind, Riptide is towards the top of the meta simply because of some of the matchups that he has. Now, yes, he does have bad matchups. A lot of people are saying he has a terrible matchup into Victor. Obviously, in the past has had a pretty bad matchup into Illusionists, and Prism is pretty decent right now. So you would think that that would push him down. Perhaps that's why he only got the 1 win or maybe 2 wins this past weekend in Proquest. But I think he can do some stuff, man. I will say this. If Kasai is very prevalent in the meta, Riptide is terrifying. I have played multiple times against Riptide and none of them feel good. I have picked up a few wins against Riptide on Kasai, but that is a really good matchup for Riptide. And the same thing can be said in a lot of respects towards Kayo. It's a harder matchup, I would think, but yeah, I think the same thing can be said that direction because of the traps that can, in a lot of way, shape, and form, just get you there in the end. And people are starting to figure Riptide out. They're starting to move over to him and really jump on the bandwagon. So he would be the hero I would actually pick up and run out there if I wasn't just straight up going to be playing Kasai until she rotates. Another hero that I expect to actually do well and push forward and get more wins than last week is one that you might be able to guess, but not for the reasons that I'm thinking, and that is Levia Shadowborn Abomination. Now here's the thing, Levia is already good. People have already won events, won, Proquests, obviously won Battle Hardened PTIs this past weekend on Levia. But I think more people are going to start moving that way because Levia just got one of the most spicy cards spoiled just out the gate. Holy crap, that card is nuts. People are going to, in my opinion, people are going to look at that card. They're going to go, oh, that's a good card. I need to play that card. And to play that card, I need to play Levia. And so therefore, they're going to play Levia and try to figure her out even more. I think she's going to do better this week than she has in weeks past. I'd be sad to be proven wrong. I'm rooting for the League of Levia as a community, and I think they're going to put some numbers up this weekend, perhaps at the Battle Hardened. Who knows? I would be surprised, and I would be excited, and in some cases elated to see them do so. But I think Levia is on her way up. Another hero that is continuing to just prove his mettle in this format. Again, remember, this is a mid-range format with a lot of heroes that are basically just trying to play good numbers and trade back and forth. And you know who's really good into that? An OTK deck that doesn't get pressured enough, and that is Visceral. OTK Visceral in either of the forms you want to build him, Turtle Burst, or just straight up OTK Rune Chance, whatever you want to call it, Slogism, no Slogism, doesn't matter. If you can sit back and just turtle up and then block and then make more Rune Chance and then block and make more Rune Chance, and your opponent doesn't do anything about any of it, you're gonna win a lot of games. That's the interesting thing about this meta, is that if people are reducing themselves and their decks to just numbers and value and sort of this middle of the road, I'm gonna always do Kasai numbers, do 7 a turn. Like that's my baseline, and then I'm gonna block 7 and it's gonna feel great. Like if that's the thing, then OTK Visceral says, nah, you're gonna die eventually because you won't kill me fast enough before I blow you up. And so for me, he's a big pick this weekend. And on the same vein, you have to say the exact same thing about Kano. The crazy thing about Kano is that he is like being held back by like the coattails. Like Prism is standing right behind Kano and just pulling on the coattails, making sure that he doesn't just run roughshod. You're welcome for that nice little quote. Run roughshod onto the meta, because without like that bad matchup, he's again just preying on the people that are doing nothing to race him down. You need heroes that are pushing him down and putting him on a clock, otherwise he just gets to combo you out at his leisure. Kano is the de facto combo deck in the game, and I kind of love that about him. He's just the combo deck to end all combo decks. And I think the best part about Kano right now is that people are coming to this realization that stack Kano is good. And it means that whether or not you're playing just like go balls to the wall right away, get the combo and play it, or if you're playing super defensive stack Kano, you can just kind of do it. You just kind of do it, which is cool. Now, again, he is being held back by like the Prisms of the world, and Prism is one of those heroes that I would also look at, but without like that matchup and maybe a handful of others, I mean, his stock goes way up. So with Prism taking a step back last weekend, does Kano take a step forward? Or does like everybody just kind of hide back on the final weekend of Proquest and in this final push towards, you know, like the national season that we are about to be entering? I am very curious to see if more Kanos come out to play. The final hero that I'm going to bring up and talk about is one that you may not expect, but honestly you probably should, because it's a hero that always lives on the fringe until perhaps right now. And that is none other than Bolton, Breaker of Dawn. And to a similar degree as Levia, who just got a sick looking spoiler. If you didn't see the news, there's a new armory deck coming very soon. I think it's in July, if I remember correctly, coming in July, and that's the Bolton armory deck. Bolton, a hero that is going to be getting even more love after receiving, specialization and more equipment and, better upgraded cards and this and that. And now he's going to get his own armory deck with even more cards in it that are going to make him that much stronger, which is honestly pretty cool because I like Bolton and I played a good bit of Blitz Bolton before he just fell off the face of the earth and just unplayability in Blitz, which was very sad to see and to say. And so I'm really kind of looking forward to him picking back up in the meta, and all the Bolton fans that are already kind of saying that he's the best of the best, looking at you, Roger, if all of them are finally getting their due diligence like this weekend and going forward with the Armory deck, I think people are going to hop on the bandwagon, just like I said with Levia, and they're just going to run forward with it and start learning the hero now so that when he gets the new powerful cards, he can just take off and run off to the races. These are the heroes that I expect to do something in this final week of the meta, but am I missing something? Is there like another hero or another archetype or another deck that is just like about to push and break out? Let me know in a comment below, because these are the ones that I know of. These are the ones that I think. I'm really high on Riptide. Maybe I'm too high on Riptide. Let me know in a comment below. And if you enjoy just hanging out and enjoying Fridays and getting ready for the weekend, make a number go slightly higher so that this number becomes a 2. Well, actually, no, this would be a 0. That one would be a 2. This one would become a 2 because 20,000 subscribers is definitely more than 19,850 subscribers. This is why you subscribe, for this fantastic commentary on numbers going up. As always, thanks for watching.